Hello, good morning. We have seen till yesterday, we have seen the summary of this Launchina. That was poem number 4, written by Sir William Scott. And today we are going to see about the glossary. Answer briefly the following questions, close study and paragraph writing. Will be soon, finish soon. Okay, it's not so big one. I'll go through this glossary and I'll sit and explain to you the question answer. Okay. Border between the England and Scotland, that is the where the two countries in between, that is called the border, India-Pakistan border, no? That is the in between two countries. Broadsword, a battle sword with the broad double-edged blades. Okay, broad they are. Okay, talwar. In Kannada they call talwar. Dauntless, ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲದವನು, dauntless. I don't care, he says, dauntless, I don't care. Okay, fearless. Knight, a man of a high social position. Knight in English is called as the royal man, high position man. Okay, trained to fight as a soldier on the horse. Okay, he is called knight. Stayed is a stopped. Break, a cut. Ford, a shallow point where the river can be crossed on foot. Okay, and the river only, but there is a by the walking we can go. The lake, small lake passing by, river branches is coming in, is called as a ford. Alighted, got down. Netherby, hill is on the north of the England, Netherby, it is the Netherland. Okay. Laggard, one who lags behind a timid person, is called a laggard. Distart, covered. Anjike ullavanu, hedarpuka, covered. Craven, also called a cowardly. ಅಂಜಿಕೆಯಿಂದಿರುವನು, ಅಂಜಿಕೆತನ, cowardly. Solway, the river that separates England from Scotland. Springs, tides in the river Solway are believed to be especially powerful. Okay. Goblet, wine glass. Coughed off, drink quickly. Cough, bulking the thing. One sip, you swallow everything, whatever is there. That is called gulp off. Measure, a slow and steady dance. Galliard, a spirited dance for a two. Bonnet, as a hat. Charger, horse used in a battle. Score, step rock. Prope, behind the saddle of the horseback. Fleet seats, swift horses. Grimms, Frosters, Franquins, Muggraves, the name of the various clans supporting the lord of the nearby chant. Okay, these are the name of the French names. Okay, let me go through the question answer. Answer briefly the following question. Question number 1. This is the first one, very important question. Who was Lochinvar? Why did he hide to nearby hall? Lochinvar was a brave young knight of the Highlands. He rode to Netherby Hall as Alan, whose hand he wanted to take in marriage, was getting married to a laggard, Laggard, laggard. Second, what qualities of Lochinvar are highlighted in the first stanza? Answer. Lochinvar came unarmed, riding on his horse through the wide border, and throughout this special journey he carried no weapons except for his broad sword, and rode all by himself. He is faithful to his love and fearless at the same time. Question number 3. Lochinvar rode the horse passionately to meet Ellen. Full stop. What actions in line 7 and 8 reveal his hurried movements? Answer. In line 7 and 8, we see that Lochinvar, who rode the horse passionately to meet Ellen, did not get deterred by either a thicket or a stone. Full stop. With equal determination, he swam across the Arsk river, A-R-K river, which did not have a shallow S-H-A-L-L-O-W point anywhere. Question number 4. What qualities of the bridegroom are listed in stanza 2? In stanza 2, the bridegroom is referred to as a laggard, L-A-G-G-A-R-D, in love, and dastard in war, D-A-S-T-A-R-D, in war, desert war. Question number 5. What evidence is there in stanza 3 to show that the bridegroom was covered? Answer. Lochinvar entered the Netherby hall boldly, even at the presence of the bridesmen and kinsmen, her brothers and all her relatives. Full stop. But the poor craven, C-R-A-V-E-N, bridegroom never said a word. Question number 6. How did the bride's father receive Lochinvar? What did he ask him? Answer. The bride's (S) father stood up with his hand gripping his sword, G-R-I-P-P-I-N-G, gripping his sword, full stop. He asked Lochinvar whether he came there in peace, P-E-A-C-E, or with an intention of war, or to dance at their bridal party, B-R-I-D-A-L, bridal party, P-A-R-T-Y. 7th question. What answer did Launcher gave the bride's apostrophe S father. Or you can write one more question here also. What did Launcher tell the bride's father? This is very important. You mark it IMP beside in the bracket. Answer. When the bride's BRIDE apostrophe S bride's father asked Launcher with what intention he had come there. Full stop. Full stop. Launcher gave a bold reply that he had been wooing wooing the Lord's daughter for long, but was denied the opportunity to marry her. Full stop. He responded that his love had taken the backseat and he had only come to drink a cup of wine, W-I-N-E, at the marriage feast, F-E-A-S-T, full stop. He claimed that many beautiful maidens who were far more fair and beautiful than Ellen would open-heartedly consent to be his bride. 8th question. What quality of love is highlighted by Lochinvar when he says, there are A, B, C question. I will read A and give the answer. Love swells like the Solway but ebbs like its tide. Answer. Lochinvar highlights the transitory nature of love. Transitory, T-R-A-N-S-I-T-O-R-Y, transitory. B. Does this truly reflect Lochinvar's love for Ellen? No, he does not expect the truth. He says this only to conceal the real nature of his love. C. If not, why does Lochinvar tell him what is not true? C. Bold Lochinvar does not want to abduct. Full stop. Ellen without explaining to her why he is late and without knowing her feelings, so he hides his real intention. Question number 9. What other lies does Lochinvar tell Ellen's father? Answer. Lochinvar lies that he has only come to drink a cup of wine at the marriage feast. Full stop. He claims that many beautiful maidens who are far more fair, F-A-I-R, and beautiful than Ellen could open-heartedly consent to be his bride. This he says, pretending as though he were not interested in marrying Ellen. Question number 10, very important, mark it. How did Ellen express her love towards Lochinvar? Answer. Lochinvar took one dance with the bride after she blushed his wine by kissing the goblet. Goblet, goblet. Determinedly, she accepted. Blushing, full stop. Though there were tears in her eyes, full stop. Her lips carried the smiles that came from her heart. This, though upset, Ellen showed that she loved Lochinvar. Next, 11. What was the impression of the bride maidens about the pair Lochinvar and Ellen? Answer. Though the bride's mother fretted and her father fumed, F-U-M-E-D, the bride maidens of the wedding party found the match between young Lochinvar and Ellen a better match by far. Question number 12. What mixed feeling are brought out in stanza 5? Answer. Lochinvar's apostrophe S reference to other girls who would gladly be his wives is a very hurtful line said in front of Ellen. Yet she kisses the goblet of wine that he requested for. Full stop. He drinks from it, but then throws it to the floor. Full stop. She is obviously upset by this and looks down to blush and looks up to sigh. S-I-G-H. Full stop. She is flustered, F-L-U-S-T-E-R-E-D, and does not know where to look, comma, but she offers a smile as she looks for a redemption while trying not to cry. Question number 13. What clues of this plan does Lochinvar give Ellen? Answer. While dancing, Lochinvar speaks something in Ellen's ear. When they reach the hall door, Lochinvar takes Ellen with him on his horseback and they never return. Full stop. The fact that Ellen elopes with him without any resistance and with completion shows that Lochinvar spoke to her about his intention of fleeing with her. Question number 14. What brings a smile on Ellen's face? B. What does she shed to tear? Answer for A. Though Lochinvar speaks insultingly about other maidens being eager to marry him, his statement that for long he has been in love with Ellen and his desire to dance with her brings a smile to her face. B. Ellen must have shed a tear thinking about the love she lost and lagged she was going to marry. Question number 15. Pick out all the adjectives that describe Lonchinwa. Answer: young, comma, faithful, comma, dauntless, comma, brave, comma, stately, comma, daring, comma, gallant, comma, Gallant, which is used as the noun in the poem, can also be taken as an adjective. With this we finish. The further one, close study and the paragraph writing, will see you on the next video. See you soon.